Okay, so this is what brightness bright looks like. Um, I think this looks fine. Illumina and Benex stream like this. Like, some people have complaints with their streams. I think most people don't find it a huge problem. Um, but that said, there are things you can do in OBS if you want to make your stream look better than this. Even while on brightness 1.0. So go to filters. I mentioned Gamma 1.0 as a place to start. If you look at this, this is pretty bright. You can see very well. The GUI looks a little odd. But like the game itself, I think this is like very acceptable. You can see everything quite well. Even when you go to bright areas, like it looks brighter than usual, which is something Gamma doesn't do. But I don't think that's a huge deal. And I'll show later, you can make a hotkey that will let you make it not look this bright. Like you can switch between the filters, you can turn them off. So that's fine. You can try Gamma 0.5 if you think that's better. The greens, like here, start to stand out a lot, which is kind of weird, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think this effect might, like, I don't know. The greens look strange. I don't think that is a problem. Like, again, like, I think this is fine. You can also, I don't think contrast helps much. I don't think saturation helps all that much. You can try it with brightness. Something like this looks pretty good. Colors are a little washed out. But the GUIs, I think... It's not perfect. Like, it's going to look a little bright. Like, that's something you're going to have to deal with. I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't think it's nearly a big enough deal to justify modifying options outside of what the game allows you to do normally. Like, I'm not sure whether you prefer this, or, like, maybe you can even do, like, this maybe. This might be better. Something like the green problem. Yeah, this is very similar to, normal. I don't know. There are a lot of things you can try. I think this might be what I like the most. Or maybe 5.5. I don't know. I kind of like 1.0 because it, like, everything's pretty bright, and sure, maybe that's a little... You can also up saturation a little bit, and that kind of improves the GUIs, maybe. That makes this look really weird. Yeah, I kind of like 1.0 because it makes... Most of his greens here, like, just the contrast between everything looks better. It just looks like it's been brightened up to me. So anyways, so what you can do is you can add another scene. You can add the same display capture. I'm gonna copy paste. I don't want to paste duplicate. Why? Whatever. Okay, so I think if I change filters here, it changes them on the other scene too. Yeah. Okay, so in that case, what you need to do is I'm gonna hide the display capture. Or whatever, actually this is fine. Just crop it now. Transform to screen. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. Okay, so now, you go into filters here. No filters. And you go into settings, hotkeys, switch to scene. I don't know, set this to whatever. Maybe I don't really, it doesn't matter. And then here, does it swap between the two if you do that? No. Okay, so you need to set different hotkeys. And now what you can do is you can do this. Just by pressing a hotkey. And I know, like, pressing a hotkey in the middle of a speedrun might be a little annoying, but again, like, it's not, like... The point of this isn't to be, like, literally just a perfect magic solution. The point of this is to be, like, acceptable enough that we, like... Ultimately, what we're doing here is we're, like... It's sort of like Optifine, where, like, even if Sodium isn't a perfect replacement for Optifine in all the ways, although I think it's better than Optifine, honestly. Like, Optifine modifies how the game behaves in a way that is not vanilla. Which means that, like, it should not be allowed. And we'll make exceptions to things like that if they're necessary, but, like, looking at how well this works, like, maybe there are still problems with it. You can probably improve it further beyond what I've done if you try. But I think it's, like, very clear that this is good enough that it is not justifiable to allow modifying how the game behaves in order to not have to do this. So that is basically why I don't think that the streaming concern is a big deal. Because this really does not look that bad. Maybe with Gamma we can make it marginally better. Although I think Gamma looks pretty bad too. The lighting effects in caves, like, it doesn't even get darker when you go in caves. The night looks exactly as bright as day. Like, do you really think that that is good for a stream? I think that's bad. So, ultimately, I don't think this is a very serious concern. And I think that, like, if you experiment a little with it, you'll find that it also, like, Gamma 1.0 is perfectly acceptable.